Everyone, it's Crypto Granny here, Susie. I hope you're all well, looking after yourself, looking after your family, your beautiful husbands, beautiful wives, beautiful children, and obviously animals, and just looking after other people in the world as well as animals and the environment to make this place a better world. And so let's have a look at live coin watch. Market is always so interesting. It's so exciting every day to get up and look at this market, I tell you. This is waiting for a catalyst, but it's almost like the calm before the storm, right? But it's not going to be a native storm. It's going to be a wonderful storm, humid, lovely, whatever you want to call it. This market is going to go so much higher. I can feel it. The bull has been let loose, and we're going to get a rally out of this market like we've never seen before, people. But you've got to be in the right crypto, okay? There's 45,000 tokens and coins out there in this market and getting higher every day. Just on some of the networks like Solano, for example, and other networks like Tron, you can meme and you can print your own tokens, right? So you can appreciate that there's so many cryptos out there. When people say to me, Susie, this one, and it's like some meme thing, you just can't know everything, right? I know, and we're in the right coins, right, for the right time as far as I'm concerned. I'm ultra bullish certain cryptos, okay? And when I go through, trading view and the technicals, I'll tell you why as well. But fundamentally, the cryptos that we're in are generating income, they're generating revenue. It's a business, right? The network is a business. It's got to earn revenue to keep up with the developments and crypto security and encryption and all that sort of thing. So, again, it's like a business. They don't make money, they can't pay the developers, right? And the developers are the ones that keep the network of any coin which has their own network safe. Okay, it's as simple as that. So let's get on with this market and have a look. Market cap today is 3.321 trill. Volume is very good at nearly 71 bill. Liquidity is excellent at 9.6 bill. Bitcoin at the moment is 108,904. Looks pretty good to me. Ethereum is 2575. XRP 2.2984. These things look like they can break out, particularly BTC, XRP for sure. Binance looks very cheap at 661. Great stories out there with Binance. It holds something like 31 billion in stable coins. I mean, that's massive, right? This is a mega North Binance. It should be at the price of Ethereum, right? Plus there's only 148 million on issue, right? And someone's trying to buy 10% of that issuance. And as I said before, CZ wants to buy back or burn, about 48 million of Binance. So there's only 100 million out there, vis-a-vis XRP, which has 100 billion, okay? But for, lost crypto. Solano's at 151. Tron at 0.28633. Technically, Tron looks amazing. Technically, it looks amazing. I've got to tell you that. Such a bullish chart. I've never seen such a bullish chart. Dodge 0.17. ADA too expensive at 0.586. They don't put on any clients, ADA. I haven't seen any clients for ADA for years. But BCH looks like it's going to bounce and break out today, big time, or tomorrow. Could easily get to 520 people, BCH, easily. What else we got? Link, so cheap at 13.50, incredibly cheap. I don't know why the whales keep selling this one. Link, half this issuance, it has $1 billion on issue, and half the issuance is with stakers. Okay, it's been staked, right? So it means there's only 500 million that the traders can play with, right? And this thing, once it gets through 14.50, it's off to the race. Could end up at $55. It's as simple as that, right? SHIB looks pretty good, but we like Pepe over SHIB. AVEX is cheap at 18.15. It's been smashed, right? Been smashed for about, 90 days or so. Yeah, 30 days down 11%. Been absolutely smashed, and it's very oversold, and they've got a great story fundamentally. They put on a lot of clients, and it's a terrific story. H-bar's been smashed at 0.159. We have a sprinkling of H-bar. Keeping an eye on Litecoin. I like Litecoin. Looks technically very good to me and could go higher. Dot's been a big disappointment. Apparently their treasury about a year ago said they were running out of money. I don't know how true that is now, but you've got to be careful when treasuries of network systems run out of money, because it means they can't pay the developers and their encryptors and their front back office, their high tech stuff at the front as well as the back of the system. Oak B looks pretty good. The exchange at 48.21. I noticed Qcoin the other day was going up as well. We've been in Qcoin as well. Pepe, I love Pepe. All the traders are behind Pepe. If you don't have a lot of money and you're young, buy Pepe. You've got plenty of time. Like, I'm very, very bullish Pepe, okay? Polygon, I should say. We have bought Polygon in the past, but it's not doing very well of late. But there's a great story re Polygon. They do have a lot of clients. Crow has just done something with Dubai. The exchange, it's very cheap, Crow, at the moment. I'm not surprised it's up 5.85%. It's extremely, extremely cheap. The exchange is doing a lot to expand its global footprint, and also it's in the Middle East as well. VeChain's been very nonchalant, been a poor performer, and I don't quite understand why. I think it's an amazing story. They're into clean energy, clean food. Their network can work out fraud if goods and services, or goods particularly, have been are not, say they're going off or something like that. Or, for example, there's fraud within the goods, right? Where rice is not rice, like in China, there's food fraud and all sorts of things, right? You buy rice and it turns out it's plasticine. So VeChain is a cryptocurrency technology and network where, it creates tamper-proof technology. So you can actually work out when something's been tampered with, because VeChain has all different sealants on, on the goods themselves, right? Or, for example, you buy a piece of meat and you can actually literally, with VeChain technology, essentially from the time it comes from the farm to your plate, VeChain technology is involved in that. It's amazing. FET has been very disappointing. It's an AI. It will come back. Before FET merged with a few other AIs, three others actually, it was a lot higher at $2 something. So I'm expecting big things from FET too. We are keeping an eye on that, as well as Atom. So let's have a look at the technicals. Grab yourself a cup of coffee wherever you are in the world, or maybe a beer. We'll go through the technicals and then I'll have my crypto news stories. And I hope you like this new format. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe key, because I'm going to try and do these like every second day or so. I'll give it a shot. I am very busy at the moment, but I think it's important to bring out something, because this market's going to really rock and roll, babies. In the woods, it's going to go much higher, and I'm extremely, extremely bullish. Everything's set up, right, for this to happen. Corporations everywhere are buying Bitcoin. Governments are buying Bitcoin. People are behind the curve. Only 12% of the global population is invested in cryptocurrency, and yet there's regulations now coming through where the EU is now allowed in Europe 53 licensed exchanges, right? There's so much bullish news out there. It's just incredible. And then with interest rate cuttings, which will come, this is going to be a massive rally, people, a massive rally. Plus, you've got the US president behind crypto. Okay, what else can I say? It's just so obvious where this market's going to go. And if you're selling this market, you've got to be crazy. Fair income loco, nutty. Absolutely, you need to go to the nut house, because this is the biggest buy I've ever seen. And I wish I had more money to put in, but I don't. So, just buy with your ears pinned back, babies, but the right coin. You'll need my service for that, because we've done our due diligence for 12 or 13 years in this market. And we've been looking at this market for a long time. Anyway, let's get on with the technicals and see what we can glean from those today. All right, so let's look at the technicals today, people. Bitcoin against US dollar tether. Let's have a look at 12 months here. Looks so bullish, babes. Why would you sell this? Seriously, this is so bullish. It's a joke. This is a 12-month charts. I like to look at those just to get all the noise out. Every chart looks good. 6 months, a month. My God, this is so bullish. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Why would you sell Bitcoin? Okay. What's their name's BlackRock, the fund manager who has the ETF, where people buy Bitcoin on the exchange as an ETF. They've got to buy physical Bitcoin, and they're holding over 700,000 units of Bitcoin. right? So, you know, this market's going to go much higher. Seriously, this is heading to 110,000, 111, something like that, but much higher. I agree. I think I think Bitcoin at the end of the year could be $250,000 per unit. Michael Saylor's out there saying within the next 10 years it's going to get to $1 million. And I believe the guy. I really do. I think it's going to happen because this looks ultra bullish. And, you know, Bitcoin's been around for 17 years, people, since 2008. It's a long time. Now, BCH, I want to show you BCH. Looks fantastic. I'm a buyer at BCH below 500. It's cheap, 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 cheap as chips. Okay, let's have a look at one where we look at here. I'll expose Bitcoin base. I don't like them much. But if you look at the long-term charts of BCH, you know, we're now going to buy here, right? A big one. This is on a 12-month chart. And this thing could go to, you know, $4,500 per unit. And I'm serious because Bitcoin, if it gets to $1 million, where do you think this thing's going to be, right? And it's cheap against Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin, BCH and BTC, the spread is broken up to bullish, okay? BCH, Bitcoin, I wonder whether you can pull that up. Here we go. That spread has gone ultra bullish, right? Okay, you can't really see it on the 12-month chart, but it means you're buying BCH and selling Bitcoin, right? And it's starting to get really bull here, you know, which means BCH is going to outperform Bitcoin, okay? Here we go. Massive. This is going to be massive when it happens, and it's going to happen soon. BCH is the one to be in, seriously, against Bitcoin. And that's why our portfolios are overweight BCH, okay? Have a look at another chart here. Looks fabulous. Yeah, monthly things going so much higher. Minimum on the monthly is 676, maybe 700. But when she breaks out, she's going to break out quick, okay? The 4 hours look pretty good. She could easily get to 528, easily 530. That's where they're selling it. And they'll be wrong. The trade will be wrong to sell this thing because it's in a big uptrend, okay? And you've got this beautiful rounded smile. Bullish, 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 people. Bullish. Wow, it looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's have a look at Binance, and then I want to look at some other coins that I haven't really done technicals on, but we have bought in the past, okay? OKX, for example, Avalanche we've bought, VeChain we've bought, Fetch we've bought, which I want to look at that, IOTX, Conflux, and just a few others, Dot, Atom, Polygon, maybe if we have time, but that's what I want to look at. Okay, so let's have a look at Binance. Need a coffee. Okay, let's have a look at Binance here. Oops. I love TradingView. I think it's a great system. Alrighty, let's hook Binance. I love the longer term charts. Let's just have a look here. It takes out all the noise, 12 months. Yeah, looks pretty good. I gotta tell you that. Even though it's been sold down a lot, 12 months, it's giving us the right picture. Beautiful. Looks bullish, 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 bullish. Boy. On every chart, it's bullish, man. What else can I say? Dailies. Up, up, up and up. Okay. Okay, it's hitting a big wall on the 4 hours, which I like to look at, of 665, but a break of 665, and she is off to the races. She could get to $1,000 very quickly. Very quickly indeed. Binance is cheap. It's got 31 billion in stable coins. They do most of the trading in the market, 75%. It's a gift here. Binance is a gift here. It is too cheap. Plus Bitcoin dominance is still at what, 60 odd percent, 65%, right? That's got to go down to about 35, which means you're going to get massive performance out of these altcoins, okay? Massive performance. They're oversold, people, oversold. Simple as that. Oversold. It's a beautiful buy, right? What else am I going to look at today here? I want to look at some different coins. Link. I want to look at Link because we're holding Link in our portfolio, investment portfolio number 7. Yeah, we've had other investment portfolios where we've made a lot of money. Okay, and we intend to make a lot of money with this investment portfolio that we've had on since August the 1st of August 2023. So we're patient, but we're going to get mileage, people. Okay, let's have a look at Link. Looks pretty good to me. The lows are getting higher, babies. In the woods, the lows are getting higher. Bullish, bullish. Breakout. It's got to break 1360, Link, technically. 1360, it's at 1350. It's got to stay above 1360 to go much higher, and it will. In the last rally, God, 5 years ago, whatever it was, got to $55, okay? Cheap, cheap, cheap. Let's look at Atom. I want to have a look at Atom as well. Or Cosmos, whichever name you prefer. This has been a big underperformer. And it's not great. Done a lot of consolidation around here though. Whoa. God, it's cheap, man. I don't know why they hit this one so much. We only bought $1,000 worth of it, but it's very cheap. $4 also as a gift. It's a gift. Good grief. Golly. Has to get through $4.22 on the 4 hours to be L bullish for a short-term run. Wow, been hit really hard. Let's have a look at Matic Polygon. Where is it? Poly, what's it under? Polygon. Wait a minute. Polygon. Sorry, can't spell for nuts sometimes. Here we go. That's Matic. Okay. Let's have a look at that. Gee, doesn't look great technically. I don't know why they've hit this one. We're not in it though, which is interesting. Technically, it looks really yucky at the moment. It's trying to bounce here, but boy, has it been, it's been really oversold. Needs to get through 19.1925 on the 4 hours. It's been really oversold. The lows are getting higher though, so you get a bounce out of this one, a big one. One I do want to look at is Conflex. Now, Conflex is interesting because it's one of the only cryptocurrency networks that China will allow, and it's like VeChain. And those two I'm expecting to perform, right? But this one's been hit very badly. It was right up here somewhere, $1.87. And now they've kept selling it. And it's the longer the base, the higher the rise, okay? This looks like a smile to me, which is bullish. Conflicts is AI, and it's one of the only cryptocurrency networks that China has sanctioned, the government has sanctioned. And this one's been very oversold at the moment. Remember I said the longer the base, the higher the rise. If you measure that to that, you're going to get a rise equally up, okay? So at 7 cents, it is cheap, very, very cheap. I wouldn't buy a lot of it, but it's worth a play because it is so cheap and it's a great, great story. Terrific story, actually. Okay, what else do we want to look at today? I want to look at OKX because that's held up very well. They're doing a lot. They've got something like 12 billion in reserves, okay? But Arthur's got a lot more, clearly. But it's interesting to have a look at OKX all the same. X. I don't have OKX. Okay, can't find that one. It's weird. All right, let's leave that one and move on. Let's have a quick look at Pepe, actually. It's doing well at the moment. It's holding that 5 digits and 1 cent. And we like Pepe. We're holding Pepe. Okay, on the monthly, giving me a buy here. On the daily, definitely got a buy. This thing could really bounce, actually. It looks like a descending wedge here. This thing could really bounce and bounce quickly. Let's look at the 4 hours. Needs to get through 4 zeros, 10721, and she's off to the races. The lows are getting higher. bullish. I'm ultra bullish, people. Seriously, I'm so bullish, it's a joke. And then if you look at Tron, which is one of the cheapest coins out there, this Tron's got 200 million clients, people. 200 million clients, and they hold a fortune in stable coins, and they're making a packet of money, right? This thing should not be at 28 cents. It's as simple as that. I mean, the dailies look amazing. Look, there's a 12-month chart of Tron. Just buy with your ears pinned back. Seriously, buy. It is cheap, man. For the money that Justin Sun is making, it is cheap. And all he has to do is burn some Tron, and he will. Okay, we go to their issuance. They've got 86 billion in circulating supply. Total supply is 94.776 bill. He could burn half of that. And the technicals look so bullish, it is a joke. If you don't have a lot of money, Tron is the one, believe me. And Pepe, amazing. It looks so amazing. You know, some of the bid offers. It looks incredible, right? Technically, Tron is the one. It looks amazing technically. You know, it's just going to go higher and higher. Trying to keep it down the whales, and I don't know why. But look, that thing can easily get to 45 cents and higher, right? This thing could be at $5 before we say Jack Robinson. It's being supported by the President of America. Justin Sun has an ear to Mr. Trump, right? And Tron is incredible, right? Absolutely incredible. The guy will burn, just like CZ, his mate from Bernard's. They will burn coin, their own coin, and that will make it go up even higher. Just like Bonk last night burnt, what, $1 trillion, was it $1 trillion of coin or a billion? I can't remember. But either way, burning is good for coins prices because it takes out the supply, right? And Tron is the one. Buy it with your ears pinned back, seriously. Anyway, another one that got hit dramatically, and we used to buy it, was Dot. And there was a story out probably 6 months ago where they were losing money, and their treasury didn't have any money, right? They were running out of money, and that was very worrying for the market. So the market's just sold this down dramatically. It looks technically still quite bad, actually. I've got to tell you that. Yep. Doesn't look good. I wouldn't buy this one at all, okay? Stay away from that one. Technically, it looks very bad to me. Trying to bounce off these low levels, but that could go lower, so I don't like it much. What else? Anything else we want to look at today? Have a look at Ethereum, maybe. Oh, an XRP. Let's look at XRP. Got to keep an eye on that one too. 12-month chart looks pretty bullish. I've got to tell you that straight away. Let's go to 6 months. Bullish. Bullish. On every time frame, bullish. Looks like it's going to break out. It's got to really get through 337 to be off to the races, right? 337. It's got the daily here. On the daily, needs to get through, bear with me, 264. And it's currently at 229. We go to 4 hours. Let's have a look at that one. Wow. Look at the 4 hours. Really needs to break up through roughly 233. It's got to break 233, okay? And I think it will. This looks very bullish to me. This is a very bullish structure. The lows are getting higher. XRP is going to break topside, so maybe we need to buy some here for my clients. I think it's an absolute buy. It looks very good technically, actually. It's going to break up. XRP is going to break up. It's doing a lot of things at the moment. They're looking for a banking license. Don't forget, they've issued their own stable coin. Even Tron and Binance are supporting that. So there's been a lot of good things going on. They still have the SEC case, which is over their head. But technically, XRP looks very good technically. Unless it breaks below $2.22, like we said yesterday, you know, it's in a very tight trading range at the moment. I think it will break $2.35. It looks pretty good, or $2.33. And it's right here right now. So it's got either 7 cents of downside. You're going to buy this, you have a stop loss maybe at $2.18 for a move higher through $2.35, somewhere around there. That's what I would do. Anyway, guys and girls, that's enough of me with the technicals. Now I'll show you the news, and then I'll come back and say thank you very much for watching. And please do subscribe if you're interested. Thank you.